Amex Platinum is refreshed, brand new perks, fees, everything going on for both the business and personal platinum. All of that coming up right now on MTM Travel. So the long-awaited refresh of the Amex Platinum cards is here. A lot has been rumored, and a lot of those rumors were true, Mark. Almost everything I think that leaked out was true here. And this is a big push for American Express as they compete with Chase and other banks like Capital One in the premium credit card market. The Platinum is the OG card for this, but it used to have a $450 annual fee not too long ago. It's been going up over the years. And both of these new Platinum cards come with an $895 annual fee. That is now confirmed. That was the rumor, and it is here. So we'll go over all the perks. We'll separate the business and the personal Platinum. But to start, you're going to be shelling out $900 for this card.
Yeah, which is insanity. I really thought they were going to go for $995 when we talked about this months ago. I'm like, here comes the first $1,000 card. So they went just a little bit below that. It's just funny that like Citi came out with a new card, Chase refreshed theirs, and then Amex, of course, had to come in and be like, you know what? I'm going to be the biggest. And as they grow, we keep saying this, as they go up, the Venture X looks better and better. It's simpler. The credits are easy to understand. The fee is lower. You don't get as many bells and whistles, but if you're looking for a premium card, when you compare the two, it's like there's way less hoops. And I think people have coupon fatigue, and this is just more in the same. I do think that these will be slightly easier to use than they were previously because, what was a hard one to use, maybe they're giving you extra, so it makes it a little bit easier, or it makes it more understandable, when you go out there. And like you can't find a hotel for $200, but maybe you can find a hotel for $300 now. I think it just opens up a little bit more in that respect.
So Howard Grossfield, U.S. Consumer Services president at American Express, says there's really nothing like Platinum membership. We offer more value than ever, and with the scale of our lounge, dining, and hotel programs, we make it easy for our card members to enjoy this value. Platinum delivers unmatched benefits, unforgettable experiences, and world-class service powered by our award-winning digital capabilities.
It is not easy to use. They make it as difficult as possible. If they just said, here's $200 in Uber credit, that's easy. $10, $15 a month, is not easy. You make it difficult on purpose. Don't lie.
So let's talk the consumer Platinum card, $895 annual fee. And here's the sign-up bonus. It's going to make sense in the first year financially with any welcome offer for these cards because the welcome offers are big and they are going to outpace what you are spending on that fee when you factor in the credits. So nice welcome offers on these cards, but we're going to dive into the credits and whether it makes sense in the future. I should say that both Travel on Points and Miles to Memories, we have articles on our sites that break down both of these cards and what is good, what's bad, what we think about them. I know Benji on MTM has it, and you do on Top as well.
We can deep dive it a bit more, and it's maybe easier to digest. Like you hear us talk about it and then you read it. I think getting both versions of it helps for sure. And we were right to say to wait because the increase in bonus outpaced what you would have saved at annual fee. So I think that if you did stick around, that is we're already ahead of the game. Now the question is, do you think that it stays at this level, or do you think it drops before December? If you think it stays at this level, which there's a good chance that it might, then. Or we'll at least maybe get alerts if it is going to drop. I would try to push it out till December to triple dip all of these credits that we're going to talk about next. But it's nice to see that they're not just resting on their laurels as far as like, oh, we refreshed, we gave you more value, which I think they did. The increase of the annual fee, $200 to what they're giving you in perks, is well worth it. Like we talked about with the Sapphire Reserve, Gary Leff made that claim. Would you pay the $200 or whatever for these new perks? If somebody came up to me and just said, do you want $200 for this extra stuff? I'd say, yes, I'll take it.
I am in the same boat. I don't see how you could look at this and not come to that conclusion. As you've said, people may have coupon fatigue and may not want to spend $900 in order to get these credits. But if you look at the perspective of what the card was versus what the card is now with a $200 increase in annual fee, it is better in so many ways, and these credits are certainly worth the $200. So let's go into them. As rumored, you will now have a $600 hotel credit with FHR and the hotel collection with Amex, that's going to be $300 every 6 months. This is a huge perk, along with a $400 Resi dining credit, $100 per quarter. So let's talk about those two. That's $1,000 in credits right there. Fairly easy to use. Resi's every quarter, but it's a lot of people are using the Resi credits on their other Amex cards, and it's a fairly easy perk to use. The FHR credit, $300 every 6 months, fairly easy to use. These are really good perks.
I wish the Resi credit was every 6 months, kind of how it is on the gold, and it was $200. I think that would be even better. And just because a lot of the Resi restaurants are kind of expensive, some you can go and buy a gift card or whatever, and it will trigger it. Others you can buy online if it checks out. I think if it checks out with Toast or whatever, it works. I don't know what the specifics are. I have a restaurant in Detroit that I usually will try to get to burn mine, but at $100, that doesn't really cover it for two people at that restaurant. Where if it was 200, then we would be where we're probably just paying tip, and that would be awesome. So I disvalue it a little bit. Maybe I could drive down there and grab a $100 gift card each quarter if I remember. But there's a pain point. So if it's $200, it would be very little pain. At $100 a quarter, there's some pain. On the FHR, if it was $600 in a year, no pain. I think that'd be awesome. $300 every 6 months, there's some pain there. Before it was $200 a year when we were using these credits on the cards. And that was difficult because you didn't find a ton of hotels anymore that were $200 a night. I think 300 probably opens it up more when you get the extra perks. You get the free breakfast, the $100 credit on property, all that stuff kind of makes it where you can lean towards it. But I never really searched out for the 200, but now that I'm getting $600 a year, I'm going to make that a focal point and try to work it. And maybe that makes it so I'm not earning hotel points as not top of mind, like especially with Hilton devaluations that have come through recently. Like, maybe I'm trying to find Hiltons that are on FHR. I don't know if that's the case, but if we can, then why do I need Hilton points anymore?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. FHR credit, much more important now to your value as a cardholder to say, okay, I need to maximize this, but also cool perks. It's a good program. And they're not requiring you to do 2 nights like with Chase in the edit. So this is also good in that way, a great enhancement there. A few other enhanced or new credits. The digital entertainment credit is now $300 each calendar year, and they've added Paramount Plus, YouTube Premium, and YouTube TV in addition to the Disney Plus, Hulu, New York Times, Peacock, Wall Street Journal, all the stuff that they had before. So an expanded credit at $25 a month. And that is pretty good. I think this is money in people's pocket. And then the one you've been waiting for, the Lululemon $300 credit, $75 a quarter.
Little boo-boo.
Everybody's excited.
Yeah, I mean, I use YouTube TV, and so you would think, okay, this is easy, $25 a month, money in the bank. I already pay for it, but I feel like I can do just as good of a job, if not better, buying those Google Play cards when there's sales at Target, when there's sales at, office stores or grocery stores, stuff like that, when you can stack some deals and I can get 20, 30% off going that route. So I'm going to still do that for YouTube TV. I do have Paramount Plus, I have Peacock, I have Hulu. A lot of that is because I have these credits, so I don't know that I would use all of them normally, but I do it just because, hey, if I can get it for free, I might as well. And there is some value there because we do use all the apps right now. Maybe we would be less. Do you find yourself like struggling to find what to watch because there's too many things to go through and then forgetting what shows where and all that stuff? So I would prefer, less credit where I can just be, okay, Peacock. We have Peacock for 3 months. Let's watch everything on Peacock. Then we'll switch to Paramount Plus and watch everything there. So this adds to like the angst in my life, which kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, I get overloaded and then I just go to Apple TV Plus because they have the best shows. So I just
and it's only like $6 a month.
Yeah, I mean, I love Apple. That is my streaming service, but I have so many of them, and because I have these credits as well, and it's nice. But yeah, don't base your whole thing on it. Lululemon gift cards, we're assuming should work at least in store, so you could stack those in order to buy something more expensive, and probably could sell them. I'm sure the gift card market for Lululemon is going to decline as far as what you can sell them for after this benefit comes, but certainly there. Uber One membership is now included, up to 120 in statement credits for that. $200 Aura credit. So if you get the Aura ring, so this is where we're starting to get into the weeds, where we're adding things to make seem like we have value that are really stretches. And I think some of the other credits we talked about earlier are more universal. But here's one new status as well. And this is coming to both the personal and the business card. Leaders Club Sterling status from leading hotels of the world, which gives you, I think, free breakfast, some other perks. And one other thing about this, and this is the point Mark was making earlier, almost all of these are enrollment required, meaning that you have to opt
Yeah,
into them, even
annoying.
though American Express is promising a brand new Platinum website. So they're trying to make it easier for Platinum members to have their own, I think, an app too, where you're going to have a Platinum app so you can load all this stuff much easier, but you still have to enroll, causing a lot of breakage for people who don't pay attention.
Yeah, especially the Amex airline incidental credit, which is staying, and I know we're going to get into that a bit. That one's one that people get the card. They even activate it, but you have to wait like a day. Otherwise, sometimes it doesn't fully trigger. And all of these, you should probably wait a day. I don't care about the hotel status. That program sucks. It's hard to find award nights. I've done a write up on Travel on Points when the city came out with like their really great transfer rate, and it was like I could find 3 or 4 hotels in the whole program that I could book with points at any given time, which is just terrible. So, I don't care about your program if I can't do anything with it. Lululemon, as dads of little girls, I don't know if yours is into Lululemon, but mine is very much so. So that's an easy one for me to get value from. And I think, that's where you get into the personal stuff. Are these worth $900 on their face? Probably not to me. But in that first year, where you're getting the sign up bonus and then you're going through it, if you can triple dip it, I think you're coming out with a very massive deal worth several thousands of dollars and only paying $900 only. So you're, getting double or triple the value, I think.
So to round this out, there are other credits that stayed, like your $200 Uber Cash, which is $15 a month, and then you get a bonus in December, like $20. $200 airline incidental credit, the OG credit from the Platinum card, going all the way back to the old days. It is still there as well and working the same. You still get that Walmart Plus membership, Mark, which I know you're so excited
Woo!
about, the clear
Yes.
credit. So here's the marketing. It's $3,500 plus in value when you add all this stuff up. And I think if we're talking $900, I think there's probably 1700. I think when I did it earlier, 1700 in value for me, but I have to actually be engaged in that and make sure I'm doing my hotel stuff and doing it. So not quite there, but I think that you can, I guess my whole breakdown is that the card got better for the increase in fee. It wasn't the card for everybody before. It's still not the card for everybody. And with big welcome offers like Amex is asking you to take on, it's worth a try to see if it makes sense for you. And I feel like a lot of people are going to enjoy these credits and double the value for what they're paying, but you're going to have to work at it. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to the FHR credits. Are you able to easily use that $600 there every year? And does it cover most of a hotel? Because if you normally don't pay any cash out of pocket for a hotel and you are booking these, it can feel like you're saving $600. But if you were spending $0 before and that $600 has you spending $300-400 out of pocket, you get some of it back from the perks on property that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. But you're still spending money you wouldn't have. So that's really where I need to get in there and dig around and see if I can find hotels for my future trips that are right around that $300 a night that makes sense. And we can stack these because we're all of a sudden going to have a ton of these. So I'm going to try to use those as quickly as possible and focus on that as soon as I have time to dive into it. So I think that's the focal point first and foremost. The Amex airline incidental credit, we all know how to use that. The Lululemon and Saks, you can buy gift cards in store, likely for Lululemon too. So those are somewhat easy. Uber Eats, traveling. Uber One, I made a joke, but I guess if you have the Uber credits and you're using it, you might as well take the free. I won't activate it because I know I'll forget to cancel it. Is that wrong of me? I know I'll forget to cancel it as soon as I cancel my Platinum cards, and then I'll be like, oh, great, now I'm paying for this crap, and I got to fight to get it canceled.
Yeah, if you use Uber a lot, this is actually a perk because you save a little bit on rides, on Uber Eats. So if it's free and you're going to remember to cancel it, I mean, it's a little bit of added value to every time you use Uber. I think it's 5% off you get with Uber One plus free delivery on Uber Eats for certain restaurants. So, I mean, it's a nice perk, but not, like, again, you're not falling over yourself. But let's talk to the Business Platinum now. And a lot of the same stuff, but obviously Business Platinum is a separate product with a separate base. They expect higher spending. There's a whole different category. In fact, Amex, for people who don't know, They run their personal and business cards in separate divisions within the company, which is always interesting. But you have 2X is now enhanced. You can earn 2X on purchases over $5,000.
Woo, a 2x. Oh boy.
Well, that was 1.5X before. And the key business categories, certain business categories also have 2X. You also get 5X on flights and prepaid hotels on AmexTravel.com. You're going to get the same FHR credit we talked about with $300 every 6 months. You're going to get that same status from leading hotels of the world. And then let's get to Dell. I'm still bitter about this whole Dell thing that they want to sell this as $1,150 in credits. So you get the $150 credit. This isn't new. We knew about this, but the fact that it's just so prominent in the overall valuation of the credits by saying you're getting this $1,000 credit after $5,000 in spend, that is not a benefit they should be putting on, and they should not be including this in the third. It should be a $150 Dell credit, not an $1,150 Dell credit.
Yeah, if you own a business that you're buying computers every year or whatever, then maybe. But Dell computers suck. As I say this, recording on a Dell computer that I absolutely loathe every day of my life. The worst. My son's crapped out in like the first 3 months. They had to come out and fix the motherboard. Like they're a crappy computer. So yeah, I buy other things on Dell with my $150 credit now. And this just isn't that good unless you're reselling computers or you have a business that for whatever reason loves Dell and that's like $1,000 in the bank. But I think that target demographic is so minuscule, even in the wider non-miles and points people market, that you shouldn't include it. It's kind of like if they include which we're going to talk about in a bit, the $250K spend stuff as actual perks. Like, come on, how many people are spending $250K on the crappy Biz Platinum?
But the Dell is even worse because you used to get $400, and so they cut it in more than half, and then they announced that it's almost 3 times the credit, like on the surface. It's really disingenuous, but I guess if you buy a lot, that credit really is not, this is not the way to market your stuff. The Adobe credit, still there, $250 after $600. Mark is just gonna get his whole soundboard going with this. And then the 35% airline bonus that changed this year, and you have 9 airlines, and it's not as good as it used to be for first and business class flights, but it's still there for your chosen airline. But that was already announced to happen, so it's taking effect, but we already knew about that one.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest negative here. And it was such a cool perk, something a little bit unique. In economy, you could only use the 35% on the airline that you chose, but business or first, you could use it on any. And that was a way to use points on like an Iceland Air or something that is somewhat hard to use miles and points on, or like these local airlines, like if Sean's flying in China and there's, airlines that we don't really know how to access. If you fly business, if there's a cheap business class fare, you can do that. Or you can just fly, to South America on a local carrier that you wouldn't book otherwise. But because of the BizPlat 35% rebate, you could. Now you can't because it's only the U.S. carriers. Most of them don't do anything special. And now you have that problem and the prices are inflated. And why would you kill this? This is such a cool perk. You're still booking it through their travel portal, so they're still making their commission. I don't understand why they wouldn't want to encourage this. You get paid more commission on first and business class flights. Like it lines up perfectly. This was cheap on their part. And I think this really nerfs the card for me, losing this with everything else. I think the personal platinum, if you're going to keep one or the other, I think the personal platinum's the better play.
Which is interesting because in the past, the business platinum for a lot of people has been better, especially with the Dell credits and the way you could stack up and at least kind of get your money back for the fee or figure out your value. You would do that. My counter to that would be, I bet Amex says our data indicates that 95% of customers use these 9 airlines and therefore supporting all these other airlines.
Then leave
doesn't make sense, but but then they're like, yeah, we can just eliminate all the value these 5% are getting, and it's not going to piss off the vast majority of people, hence why these changes come. But let's talk about the big spend bonus. As you said, if you spend $250,000 on your business platinum card in 1 year, you are going to get an additional $3,600 in statement credits. Another number that sounds great, but let's see what it actually is. $1,200 flight credit, which is great. You can use it on AmexTravel.com. And then a $2,400 one AP statement credit. And one AP is what American Express's payment processing system.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. I haven't been able to dive too much into that credit, but That's a $2,400 credit. Again, for the business that this makes sense, that's using it, great. But you're talking about a giant spend, 250,000, over 20,000 a month on your business card in order to get that.
I guess if your business had a whole bunch of huge chunk payment things where it's all 500 or $5,000 purchases and you just have like a massive amount of business spend, this could make sense. But even so, I wish that the flight credit would have been $2,500 and the other one would have been lower, because that is like 1% return to you on airfare, which, okay, that makes it a little more interesting. If you're earning 2x membership rewards on these big purchases and then you're getting 1% back, now we're looking at this as like a 3.5%, 4% return to spender. At 1,200, we're below a 0.5% in return in value. So I don't find it as interesting. I think they could have done something here that would have encouraged people to spend on a card that usually isn't a great card to spend on, but they kind of missed it a little bit.
I do know business owners who have the Platinum card or the Centurion card who just use that for business spend. It's not a great deal. They're just earning Amex points. And in that case, I think this is a carrot designed to dangle those people into making sure that they put all their business spend on the card. So it's not for the person looking for the value. It's really a suboptimal value for the person who's going to put all
And
the
they
spend.
won't use the flight
they're going to
credit.
feel maybe, but they're going to feel good that they got that, right? That's just part of
Yeah.
the relationship. And I think that's what it's designed for. I mean, that's the only sort of reason I could see that. And then obviously the 2,400 in payments. So definitely a business focused thing. And the welcome offers are going to have higher spend on the business cards as well. Oftentimes you can do better. 200,000 points for 20,000 spend on the business card is a lot, but for some businesses, that's a month of spend, and that's certainly good. And talking about the welcome offers like you did earlier, there's probably a good chance in the next couple of months people may be targeted if you're already with Amex for higher stuff. It's not guaranteed, but we will know when these public offers are going to go away. Generally, the banks will announce a date that they're going away if they're going to go back lower. So maybe wait and see if there's a targeted offer for you. I think that's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, and we did see, the referral offers from people would sometimes trigger a 250K business platinum up until a few months ago. That was fairly easy to locate. And, they took it away probably because of this refresh. So I wouldn't be surprised to see those go back out to referrals. So I would kind of sit at 200K is great, but it's not, and it's better than it was publicly, but it's not what I wouldn't pull the trigger on this. If this is your first business platinum, I wouldn't do it until you're getting 250K plus, because I think that will come. And sometimes, whether it's targeted offers, whether it's mailers, whether it's referrals from other people, I think that is going to be where it ends up. And then you have a couple months to see if that comes true before you have to do the triple dip. Now, if it's do the triple dip at 200K or wait for a 250K early next year, I would do the triple dip.
Yeah, and then there's also the personal, which is going to have a lesser welcome offer, but like Mark said, maybe that's the better product for you. So maybe you're not getting quite the sign up, but then there's 524 to take into account. So there's a lot to go over. And I guess the point would be there's no rush
And the
here.
family rule.
The triple dip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the triple dip is your best opportunity. So kind of take your time, I would say. That would be my suggestion. I know that a lot of people on the internet don't say that, right? Apply now, use my link. But I would take some time, figure out your strategy. And December coming up, a great opportunity, lots of new credits, and not the best economy now. So they're trying to attract people. I expect we'll see good targeted offers. Amex has been the best with that, and I would hope that's the case. But I'm not in any. I already have platinum cards. I have too many of them. I mean, I've already said that. So maybe I'm not the right person here, but I'm still looking at the right offer, especially no lifetime language. I feel like something good is coming.
Yeah, I'm ready for some no lifetime language offers, Amex. Send them my way. But that's something we should point out in a little more detail. The family rule. I wrote last week on Travel on Points about what we discussed on last week's podcast, why I would wait. And one of the keys was, if you are under 524, you 100% should wait for the personal card. There's no reason to burn a slot. It's the easiest approval ever, and it's always going to be available to you. And then if you have never had, if you're over 524 and you never had the green or gold, you don't want to grab it either, because as soon as you get the platinum, you can't get either of those sign-up bonuses. So you're giving up, 150, 200,000, depending on what kind of offer you get, bonus to get this thing now. Don't jump the line. A lot of people have, and they've gotten screwed because they get FOMO or impatient. It's not that great of a card. You'll be okay without it for a little bit, and line it up, do the right thing. and maximize the return that you can get. And you can do that down the road and it'll work out perfectly. Don't have any fear. Don't have any FOMO. Lululemon will still be there. Trust me.
Yeah, Amex is probably the bank with the most. I mean, Chase with 524, you need a lot of strategy there, but Amex, making sure you're using all your card slots, taking advantage of offers. Once you're in good with Amex, you generally, like you said, get approved very well, very easily, and even they don't run hard credit checks either for most customers, so you're not putting inquiries on your credit report. But just managing which card slots you have, charge cards versus credit cards, and hitting your max with those, and making sure that the products that you are holding once you hit that max are the right ones that work for you. There's a lot of strategy for people that go into Amex cards and making it all work within it. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but just knowing the people we know and being in the space, this has been the most lucrative bank for people in this space over the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, upgrade offers, authorized user bonuses, no lifetime language offers, and just the sheer amount of cards they offer is insane. And I've earned more points with Amex than probably everything else combined.
And the last thing, the new annual fee, if you have a card currently, when is that going to go up to the 895? Because there is some opportunity. If you have the card now, all these credits are going to open up to you. So make sure you take advantage of them as soon as possible, especially if your annual fee is coming up, you're thinking about downgrading or canceling, make sure to take advantage. But Business Platinum, your renewal date is on or after December 2nd, 2025. Your new fee will take effect then. So if you're lucky enough to be renewed in the next month and a half, you're going to have the old fee. And then for Consumer Platinum, it is January 2nd of 2026. So if your card renews anytime before January 2nd on the personal, you will get the old fee. And remember, you have the new credits as of now.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing for, like, if you just got this card in the last year or you had a no lifetime language offer, which is the reason that I have a personal and a couple business platinums is from NLLs over the last year. I'm like, all right, give it to me. I'm gonna lock in all these hotel rooms on FHR as quickly as I can, and then book them and get them set up, because once you have them booked, when you check out, you just have to have an Amex card. You don't have to have an Amex Platinum when you're at the actual hotel. So get those locked in, get those saved, save those hotel points for the year after or whatever, whenever you close these things.
Oh my God, I have so many hotels to book, Mark. I have too many platinum cards. That is not looking fun, but I've been paring them down, but I have a few that I have to get rid of before the end of the year. This is actually probably good timing for me. I have taken advantage of those offers. Amex has gotten plenty of my money for annual fees, which they're happy about, and they're happy to tell Wall Street. And I think let's just close with this, our bottom line take. I think as much as this is a coupon book and that's the era we're in, Amex took the challenge of, can we make this product better while also making it more premium and charging you more? And I think they pulled that off.
I think they pulled it off on the personal. On the business, I think it's worse than it was a year ago. Especially with
I mean, that's true. That's a good point, because they have taken away stuff. But that big $1,150 Dell credit, I mean, or whatever.
Yeah.
Next year it'll be a $2,000 Dell credit.
$5,000 worth of paperweights, man. Bring them in. Let's go.
Yeah, the personal platinum seems like the way to go. But the business platinum, Mark, bigger offers a lot of times for signing up, bigger spend too. But definitely opportunity here. Doesn't, no 524, all of that. So I think there's a place for both these cards. I congratulate American Express on this, because everybody's come out after them this year. It's not that they're the only ones in the game. Chase has been in the premium card game for a long time. Citi has been for a long time, even though, I mean, have they really been? I don't know, but they've claimed to be for a long time. Capital
Prestige,
One for a few
baby.
years now. Okay, so is this better than Sapphire Reserve? I think it is. Personal side.
I would say probably. I like these perks better, or these coupons better than the Sapphire Reserve. I like that ecosystem a bit better. So there's the give and take. I do think Sapphire Lounges are better than Centurion. They don't have as many, if that's big to you. But yeah, these perks speak to me more. But that could be, a personal thing. Maybe you're a single guy and you're like, Lululemon sucks. Although my one friend swears by their athletic shorts for men, says they're the most comfortable shorts out there. So maybe there you go. There's a tip.
Hey, I think there you go. I'll go buy some, and screw my daughter and her wanting leggings. I'll get my athletic shorts.
There you go.
Yeah, I think I haven't dived deep into it to say, okay, here, spending, obviously the Sapphire Reserve, I think, is better for most cases because you have bonus categories and stuff like that. I think the FHR benefits better. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff, but when it all shakes out, I do think probably the Platinum card's better. That might be famous last words. We'll talk about maybe this in a few weeks once we've had time to settle it and really kind of dive through everything and do it. Maybe we'll do a proper comparison of the two, or what we think is now the king of premium cards between all of the options. But yeah, exciting times. It's here. It's been the year.
That's especially so because Chase is tweaking already, because of this launch and everything. So they tweaked a couple things, which we'll talk about more next week. We wanted to focus on the Amex Platinum, but it's curious to see they're a bit nervous. You can tell from that. And I don't think it was anywhere near as successful as a relaunch as they had expected.
Which brings you back to the original launch. Remember how much money they spent on that, and then it didn't go as expected. They took a bath on those 100K bonuses. I don't know, but yeah, we'll get into more of that. But this is the Platinum's moment to shine. Amex, the week Chase released the Sapphire Reserve, they said, we're coming with it, and they brought it. And I'd love for you guys to comment and let us know what you think. Did they improve the card? 900, is that just too much for you? You'll never even consider it? Are you tired of the coupons? This is an extreme level of couponing, Mark. This is extreme couponing. There's so many of these that you have to do in order to make this work. But if you do, it's good. I don't know.
They can both say, hey, at least we're not Citi. That thing is such a pile of crap.
And Mark has officially pissed off every bank in the course of this show. So I feel like we have been successful. And now let us know what you guys think about the Amex Platinum. You signing up? What is your strategy for the long term? Are you excited about all of this? Did they deliver? Did they not? Hit us up in the comments. We do a new show every Monday, and we do our Vegas show over on our other channel Tuesdays and Fridays. Make sure to check that out. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Talk to you next time.
Have a good week, everybody.
Thank you and enjoy your flight.